The Artful collection stamp set has 28 acrylic stamps of all different shapes. As you can see, we have these beautiful borders, and these come from kind of vintage objects. Here's a really fun swirly border. It also has some kind of grid in the background, and also a words border, and that can be repeated to use as kind of an all-over background piece. Here's a really fun focal with some flowers, and I love the layers it creates with the swirls, the flowers, as well as that vintage piece in the back. There's a butterfly with some words, a bee, happy, amazing, and these are tiny words which are really fun to use. And there's a pretty flowers, butterfly, some flowers with words, bliss. We have this gorgeous flower gathering. And then for you, you make me smile. I love this swirl here. Hands pointing in both directions, so you can point towards your greeting if you want to. And then swirls, these are in both directions as well. Merci, wishes, and love. So some projects to show you using these. Here's a card I made for the Stamps Only personal shopper. And as you can see, I've used those borders on the side, and that swirl along each of these sides. And then I've also layered some on the red part here, and the center part is, of course, this large, beautiful piece, as well as the hand pointing. So the inside has wishes. Now you'll notice on the stamp, it actually says important. Well, I just masked that with a scrap piece of paper while I stamped, and then I stamped separately wishes on top of it, so that took care of customizing that. And I used both swirls, some butterflies, and flowers across the bottom, and of course the yardstick, which I thought is a fun little element. Here is another card, and this is using a collage effect, which I think is really effective with these Artful collection stamps. This is actually stamped on vellum, and there's lots of tiny little pieces and details here that you can see. This butterfly was stamped twice and actually lifted on foam tape. As I go down the card, some really pretty pieces, Mercies on the little torn piece. You can actually stamp on these brads with StazOn, and then this strip across the bottom is also made of vellum. Here's the inside, which is equally as gorgeous. Susan did this card. And here is a notebook. So you don't have to use them on cards, you can also use them on journals. So this is a fun all-over kind of background, like I said, with the small butterflies, the bees, all the flying creatures on here, and the pretty borders across the bottom and the side. And finally, I have a tiny example of stamping on memory glass. So this is using StazOn, and this frame was inked with the copper StazOn. So that is a really cute pendant and a lovely gift idea. So those are some things you can make with the lovely Artful collection stamps.